What's up guys, Jared back. So I wanted to do a quick little video giving you guys my first impressions of the LG G Flex. Alrighty, so here it is, the LG G Flex. Let's go ahead and briefly run through everything, and let's go ahead and start with the back here. First and foremost, if you guys aren't really aware of what LG's done with the backing, they've actually done this whole self-healing thing here. So basically, it's supposed to help aid against things like if you have it in your pocket and your keys start to scuff it up a little bit, something like that. With the right temperature, it'll eventually heal itself. But we've seen videos on the internet, and it does actually work. But when you start getting some deeper gouges, it can only go so far, but I guess you can only ask for so much, right? And also, since LG has come up with the LG G2, they started putting the volume rockers and the power/wake button on the back of the device, which I have no problem with whatsoever. It just takes a little bit of getting used to. Up here on the left side of the camera, though, we do have an IR blaster. And of course, it comes with the remote control application built into it. You've got your 13 megapixel camera capable of recording all the standard modes, 1080p, 60 frames a second, and so on and so forth. But it's also capable of doing 4K video. There were some misconceptions. People were thinking that it doesn't do 4K, or that just because the settings there, it doesn't mean it does 4K. Go ahead and type in on YouTube LG G Flex 4K video demo, and you're gonna see all kinds of videos. The wake button also actually lights up when you go ahead and tap it, and it wakes up. And there's another way to wake up the device as well, which is just tapping on it, known as knock on. Not to be confused with knock code, which is supposed to be coming down in the next update for the G Flex, but also currently available that we saw at MWC this year on the LG Pro 2. So anyways, now you'll probably notice first and foremost, obviously, that this is a flexible/curved phone. Flexible display, curved phone. And yes, you are capable of putting it down, and you can go ahead and put some pressure on it there. As you can see, it flexes down, and it will flex the other way as well. It makes a bit of a creaking noise, but hey, it's plastic and you're bending it the way it wasn't intended to be bent, although it's made to be able to handle it. So anyways, and on the front, we've got our 2 megapixel camera, and then of course we've got our little light sensors and everything there next to it. And then to the right of that you can't actually see, there is an LED notification light in there as well. So let's go ahead and tap on, or knock on as they say. It's also got this cool little sort of lock screen effect. So when you pull it down, you guys can see that it starts doing things. So I bring it back up and it goes back to the sky, and this does change depending on the time of the day. I actually haven't set, this isn't actually 4:18 a.m. at the moment. I just haven't set up the time yet. I still need a SIM unlock the phone so I can use it with my carrier, but anyways. Now, one of the big initial disappointments, again, getting into the whole first impressions thing, the big disappointment initially that I had, and I knew what I was getting into when I purchased the phone, is that although this is a sweet 6-inch display, it's only 720p with 245 ppi. Now, 720p is still a great phone. I've got my Nexus 4, it's 720p, it looks great. But when you get used to all these new phones these days, the Samsung Galaxy 4, the Galaxy Note 3, HTC One, Nexus 5, and so on and so forth, they've all got 1080p displays, and I never thought I'd say this because we all used to yell at each other being like, you can't see the pixels, you shouldn't be complaining. When you get used to a 1080p display and then you come to a 720p display stretched out on 6 inches, you really actually do notice it. I never thought I'd hear myself saying that, but I do actually notice a difference. It is night and day. In fact, if I can go ahead and turn the display on, go ahead and unlock it really quickly. I'm gonna bring it up to you guys really quickly, and I want you guys to look at the contacts icon there, and look at the brown in the contacts icon. Let's see how close I might be able to get it before it goes out of focus. You may or may not be able to see, but it's actually quite grainy. It's really disappointing. But again, it's a 720p display. But it's strange because you've got a Snapdragon quad-core 800, a Snapdragon 800 processor, quad-core at 2.2 gigahertz, 2 gigs of RAM, which is more than enough RAM to run Jelly Bean, especially once KitKat comes out for this device. And then they go ahead and toss in a 720p display stretched out on 6 inches. It just doesn't make sense to me. So that was really disappointing. The UI itself is pretty cool. Honestly, I don't mind this UI. In fact, I don't mind most UIs. And I know a lot of people don't like TouchWiz, but I'll give you the honest truth. I actually prefer TouchWiz over LG's UI. I don't know why. I just do. Maybe it's the colors. I don't know. That said, though, it does have a lot of really, really cool tricks up its sleeve. I mean, you've got Quick Memo, you've got Q Slide, Quick Memo is really, really cool. If you guys weren't aware of this, you know, you can go ahead and tap on that, and you can, say for instance, just tap on this, and then of course you can start drawing on your screen like so. You can save the screenshot, send it to your friends and so on, which I think is really, really, really cool. And you've also got some additional things here, and you've got this multitasking, so you can go ahead and long press on the back button here. You can go ahead and, let's say for instance, drag the video up here, and maybe we want to drag messaging down here. And then of course you can always resize it like so. We've got a little sort of menu option here, if it'll let me. There it is, and we can go ahead and expand it, and it'll expand one of the applications. We go ahead to tap at the top there. You can see the little sort of switch around doohickey, and it switches the applications back and forth and so on. So that's pretty cool. Another feature that I discovered on it is, let's say for instance, because it is a large display and you're having some difficulty accessing the different navigation buttons, go ahead and swipe on it, and it'll push those buttons off to the right side. I can go ahead and swipe it to the left side again, and it'll push it off to the left side. So that does make things definitely a lot more convenient. Now, as far as the camera is concerned, on first impressions, and again, this is really early impressions. I've only been playing with this phone for about a day to a day and a half now. You know, it's sort of underwhelming, though it does have some pretty cool features in it. One of which that really stood out to me was the manual focusing. So, I mean, you can always go to autofocus, of which, oh boy, whoops, of which actually, in my opinion, takes a really long time to focus. It just does. In fact, yesterday when I first got it and I was playing with it, it was really taking a long time to focus. So if we go back in there and we go ahead and click on the focus and change it to manual focus, then we can go ahead and drag this bar, if it'll let me drag this bar up and down. As you can see, we can change the focus, which I think is really, really cool. And then if we can go ahead and switch it on over to video, we jump into here. And as you can see, we do have several different video recording resolution options in here, up to and including 4K, which is actually, if you guys didn't know, 3840 by 2160. That's actually 4K. So, you know, other than that, you know, there's several other little cool little tweaks they've got going on here, little tricks up their sleeves, vanity things, really, gestures. You can jump into here, and they've got some interesting things in here. There's all kinds of little things. Some things that you may be familiar with if you own a Galaxy S4 device, but you know, what I do like that is that this isn't overly saturated with just insane amounts of options like the Galaxy S4, and I do really, really appreciate that about LG's UI, is that they don't overdo it and just confuse the hell out of people. Still just the right amount of options, but not overdoing it. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for now, I think. I'm going to be putting out a full review in maybe about a week or something like that, so stay tuned for that. If you guys have any video recommendations that you might want, like maybe gaming on it or something like that, some different video tests, go ahead and let me know in the comments down below, but I think we're going to leave it at that for now. If you like this video, click that likes button down below, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe for more videos. But that's it for now. Thanks as always for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers, guys. This video is sponsored by UnlockThatPhone.com. Unlock any phone, any carrier, worldwide. Visit UnlockThatPhone.com for more information.